Aside from falsification, there was a grave misconduct committed by this president of yours. Hindi raw siya kumukubra. Is that correct? Nila, ang yabang-yabang mo magsabi na, you know, I do not collect. Now, may we ask the accountant, no? Thesis defense. Have you submitted that?
Hindi po dumadaan sa accounting.
Let me remind you, you are an oath, ha?
Yes, sir. Yung sa
Bata ka pa
thesis po.
naman. Baka hindi ka rin makaretire, kagaya niya. Ito kasi kapag ikaw ay membro ng panel sa thesis defense, hindi po ba meron kang compensation, di ba? Do you sit in the panel? In all panels? You are under oath, Mr. Gamboa. You get paid for that. And how much do you get paid?
1,001 or 1,002, something like that.
Per thesis?
Yes.
Okay, per thesis. Especially kapag masteral at saka doctoral levels. How can you attend all these defenses and study all the theses of all hundreds of students every semester so that you can intelligently discuss them and evaluate and assess them too?
During Saturday and Sunday and after office hour, Honorable Chair.
Are you sure? Kasi parang sinirox niya yung sarili niya, no? Sa lahat ng defense panels na almost simultaneously happens, nandoon si Mr. President. Member siya ng panel. Halos magkakasabay-sabay yun, ha? Kasi nga, there is a compensation sa pagiging member niya ng panel.
1,500, pinagkakakitaan nyo pa ang isang mahirap. Ay, hindi tayo magkakasundo dyan, Mr. President. Kahit ano pang sabihin niyo sa probinsya, malaking bagay po yun.
At saka wala itong subsidy when it comes to personal services coming from the government.
Teka muna po, I beg to disagree. You're telling us na yung sa graduate schools ay hindi gumagamit ng pasilidad ng gobyerno? And that, for me, it's not acceptable.
Secretary, I'm reminding you, you're under oath. Kasi kung mali ka, I will move to cite you in contempt. Alam mo, galing ako sa pulis eh. At investigador pa, nakikita ko eh.
Rest assured that this representation will exhaust everything to make sure that the guilty parties will never retire from service and will spend their remaining years in jail. The meat of my resolution in calling for an investigation into the alleged anomalies committed by the president of the Surigao del Norte State University. In the course of our investigation, I will show this committee that President Gregorio Gamboa Jr. is not fit to be in his position right from the start. I will also show that his continued stint is illegal and violative of the law prescribing the term of office of the President of Chartered State Universities or Republic Act 8292 and its latest IRR by the Commission on Higher Education. Dr. Gamboa, what was your job and where was this prior to being president of the Surigao State College of Technology?
Before my appointment as president of Surigao del Norte State University, I was in Cebu Technological University as an associate professor 5 and at the same time as the director of extension services. And of course, a campus director, a focal person of the Naga campus as well as San Fernando campus.
And how did you learn that the SSCT is looking for candidates for president?
During the time, Honorable Chair, there were a group of Surigaonon who I think they're conducting their, if I could remember it right, they were conducting their benchmarking activity. And one of their visit was in the CTU. And they were asking if I am interested to apply. So with that, then I tried to apply the vacant position.
So you applied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who backed you up? During the time when you applied, who backed you up? Who assisted you? Who helped you?
I would like to ask the chair to clarify the question.
The question is, who backed you up? Because you're not from Surigao del Norte, and based on your earlier statement, you said that there was a benchmarking in your university. Perhaps some of those that did the benchmarking were all your friends. Can you please name them?
Sorry, Honorable Chair, because during the time, I do not know anybody from Surigao.
So these people that was doing a benchmarking in CTU approached you.
They just visit my office during the time to look into how extension services are being run by the university.
And
during
then
that
they discussed with you the probability of you applying for the position for president.
yes,
And I know
Honorable
who are
Chair.
these people, if you can recall. Don't tell a lie because you are under oath, my friend.
Yeah, I understand, Madam Chair. I think I could only remember I think the family name. I think it was.
Oh yeah, that's
the
the easiest excuse. Anyway, I will give you that question, Mr. President. Perhaps you can remember who were the other candidates during the time when there was when you applied. Sino po yung ibang kandidato?
During that time, myself, Honorable Chair, Dr. Posisano, Dr. Donoso, Dr. Igot. Igot, and the last one is Dr. From Surigao Sur, Dr. Tumakin.
Dr.
Tumakin.
Tumakin. Okay. These four applicants, just like you, who were aspiring for the position as the president of the Surigao State College of Technology, would you know who among these applicants are from Surigao del Norte, are locals from the province of Surigao del Norte? Because you are not from Surigao, correct?
Yes.
Where are you from again?
Cebu City po.
You are from Cebu. So, is Dr. Posisano from Surigao?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Dr. Donoso from Surigao?
Yes,
Is
Your
Dr.
Honor.
Igot from Surigao?
That's one thing I do not know surely, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, I will tell you, he is from Surigao. Is Dr. Tumakin from Surigao del Norte or del Sur?
Yes, the Surigao del Sur.
So, and all these candidates who are all from Surigao did not make it, perhaps because you were more qualified than them. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, I think I am not in the position to answer that one, Honorable Chair, because there is a
Good.
selection board.
It's a good thing you don't know because I will tell you that your qualifications compared to these candidates and applicants are far less inferior than their qualification. But I will go to that later on, Madam Chair. Perhaps you can educate this committee. What are the qualifications needed to be the president of the SSCT? Did you have to be a professor?
There were no indication on the guidelines as far as I know, Honorable Chair.
That's a big question mark to me, but
the only requirements there as far as educational qualification is a holder of doctorate degree, Honorable Chair.
Are you a holder of a doctorate degree?
Yes, Honorable Madam Chair.
From which university?
From University of Southern USP, University of the Philippines Incorporated.
Again,
University of Southern Philippines Incorporated.
University of Southern Philippines. Where is this at?
Cebu City, Honorable Chair.
In Cebu City. What year did you graduate and did you acquire the doctorate degree?
Year 2005, Madam Chair.
So 2005, you were already a doctorate. You were already a holder of a doctorate degree.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Can you please tell us if these are your students in CTU? Do you recognize their names?
Sorry, Honorable Chair. It is not visible. Honorable Chair, I think I could not remember one of these names. I'm not very sure because That was long time ago, but the most of the family name are not from Cebu, are from Surigao. The way I look at it, Honorable Chair.
Based on these evaluations, you were appointed by the SSCT Board of Trustees, correct?
Appointed on what position, Honorable Chair?
Anong appointed?
As president?
You're applying for president, di ba? Oh.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why you were evaluated, correct?
No, I think
Oh.
different, Honorable Chair. You're asking on the how on the NBC 461.
No. I was asking you earlier kung sino yung nag-evaluate sa'yo at kung nag-evaluate ka pa, saan mo in-evaluate ka, saan mo sinubmit. Sabi mo, per NBC memorandum circular, dun mo sinubmit, no? And ang tanong ko nga, the continuing here is that based dito sa evaluation na isinubmit mo, that would probably be with flying colors, in-appoint ka ngayon na president ng SSCT board.
Honorable Chair, may I clarify the answer? Because I was confused whether the Honorable Chair is asking on the selection as president or as a selection as a professor. When we talk of the selection for presidency, that is another thing that I have to answer, Honorable Chair. Now, on the issue of for the position of president, I think there was a search committee that was being formed by Surigao del Norte Surigao del Norte State College. There was a search committee, and that is where I submitted my document.
Okay.
Then they are the one who evaluated my document, and that's it. That is where I submitted.
So they were the ones who evaluated
yes,
what you have submitted.
Yes,
Tama? Okay. Now, will you be able to recognize the evaluation sheets and the names of those students and faculty members who evaluated you?
Is this on the presidential?
Yes, presidential na tayo.
I do not know.
Presidential na tayo.
Yeah,
Do not confuse us because we're not interested in your being a professor from an associate professor and being a professor. Presidente tayo.
Okay.
Presidente
Thank you
tayo.
for clarification, Madam Chair.
So, ngayon, if I show you a form, would you be able to recognize the evaluation forms that was used to evaluate you?
I do not. I think I will not be able to recognize that because I was not able to see an evaluation form.
What about the names of the students and the faculty that evaluated you?
During the application as president, I do not know anything on who are those people that evaluated me, Honorable Chair.
Okay. So, sa mga professors, can you recognize? Members of the faculty, can you recognize them?
During the process of presidency, no, because
Yes.
I do not know anybody during the time when I apply as president of the college.
Okay. Yung you're being an associate professor, then later on becoming a professor, would you be able to recognize?
I could not remember but I'm very sure that there is a memorandum to that, Honorable Chair, because it is the Vice President for Academic Affairs who formulated such documents. Then during the time, I am not yet very familiar with the names of the professor, and so I could not remember that document anymore, Honorable Chair.
Okay. These evaluators were all from Cebu Technological University, of course, correct?
I think that is it is not, Honorable Chair. If you are talking on the promotion or the reclassification from ASO 5 to professor. That I become a professor when I was already the president of SSCT. So it is the
Ched Banag.
I am not but for the evaluation of the pack of the students, there is a part there that it will be was evaluated by my former students in Cebu Technological University.
So you would still remember the names of your former students?
I hope, Honorable Chair.
I just said earlier that you're certain that you've been evaluated by your former students.
During the time, Honorable Chair, but that was, I think, long time ago. So
Ms. Dr. Gamboa, you are under oath, remember?
yes, sir.
Can you now say with certainty that these people, which we showed, who evaluated you, and the evaluation that were used to propel you to the position of president of SSCT, you would somehow recall if they are from the Cebu Technological University? Tama?
Well, because of the number of students with have similar family name, Honorable Chair, it's very hard to outright say yes to this question, Honorable Chair.
Medyo merong malaking question mark dito, Madam Chair, no, as to the integrity of this evaluation. And that only proves that there was dishonesty in this particular attempt, no, to fool and confuse perhaps the evaluators, or probably machinated or manipulated yung results ng evaluation. Kasi nga kay kasama niya dun sa CTU eh. Kaya pala with flying colors. Kasi if you notice kanina, I showed you the blank, no? It only has this form with no logo, no? But in this case, they put the logo in this evaluation form, making it appear that this is a valid document.
May I ask the Ched if you see the document? Have you seen the document, attorney? Are you familiar with the document? Ched, may I request the Ched? Are you familiar with this kind of instrument?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Actually, ma'am, the document, yung mga ganyang class document, ma'am, was all part po ng nasa governing board kasi. Yung CHED kasi po hindi po nakikialam sa betting po ng appointments ng professors, at the same time yung president po ng state colleges and universities.
Obviously, with all these forms that I am showing, it only proves that there was a grave dishonesty doon sa ginawa niya. And official documents supposed to be coming from these universities were falsified, and to make it appear that the candidate is qualified. So, yung pa lang, medyo ano na yon, Madam Chair, no? But the bigger question is how these documents pass the scrutiny of the reviewing body in CTU as well as the Board of Trustees of the SSCT. Ito is still a mystery to me because I haven't seen anything that would say and tell me that he is a qualified president of this university. So that was on the issue of falsification, dishonesty, and grave misconduct.
Kasi nalilito na ako eh. Nalilito na po ako dun sa kwan eh. Sa issue. Number one, yung po bang ipinakita ni Honorable Barbers na mga dokumento, it was the document that supported you to become the Surigao del Norte College of Technology presidency?
No, Madam Chair.
Ano yung mga dokumento na yun? Para
That-
saan?
That was during, that document is being used during the processing of ranking, Honorable Chair, between associate professor to professor, not on the document as for presidency.
So you're stating it now na yung mga dokumento na yun, which you claim that are also in your possession, sinabi mo kanina na pwede mong isubmit dito sa committee a while ago, di po ba?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Yung mga dokumento na yon ay to support your promotion from associate professor to full-time professor. Tama po ba yung aking pagkaintindi?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the documents that was shown are on the students. So it is on my position, student evaluation.
Be that as it may, Dr. Gamboa, hindi po ba kung mapatunayan na mali rin yung mga dokumento na yon, hindi po ba may violation din po kayo na batas?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Yes. So you agree with me that if these documents are found to be spurious, you are liable under our criminal law.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Kong Ako. May I ask also something on behalf of the congressman from Hybrid? They were asking, Dr. Gamboa, you are telling us today that the instrument presented by the Honorable Chair Ace Barbers is not part of the vetting. Is it right?
Bidding as for presidency, Madam Chair, no, it's not part.
What assistant professor for what? In where? In where? In what university?
Kindly repeat the question, Madam Chair.
Ang tanong ko po ay, yung pong dokumento na pinakita ng ating kaibigan, Honorable Chairman or Congressman Ace Barbers, is not a part of the vetting for your presidency?
Yes, hindi po part yun, Honorable Chair.
So where is it used?
It is being used during the reclassification, Honorable Chair.
On what state university?
In Surigao del Norte State College.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, Madam Chair, I have here the 26 ba to? 26 evaluation forms purportedly evaluated, filled up, and signed by student of the CTU when he was applying for from associate professor to becoming a professor. And what year did you become a professor, Dr. Gamboa?
I could not recall. I would like to see the record, Honorable Chair.
No. My question is, when did you become a professor? Diba? You were an associate professor, correct?
Yes.
And you were evaluated so that you can become a professor. Tama?
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable
What
Chair.
year was this? What year were you evaluated to become a professor?
I think that was. I could not ascertain, Honorable Chair. I have to see the record. Maybe 17 or 18, something like that one, Honorable Chair.
So 2017, you became a professor.
I am not very sure on the date, Honorable
Ikaw
Chair.
naman, imposible, hindi mo naman alam yun.
Do
not tell a lie here in this committee. Kasi are you telling us that we will believe you in saying that you don't know when you became a professor? Lumaki ka rin ba sa farm? Oh, what year were you? What year did you become a professor, a full-fledged professor, from being an associate professor?
2016. Because 2017 something, because no 2019. I think that is 2018.
So okay, 2018. but you were already a president of the SSCT, correct?
Yes.
So you're telling us that you already you have been appointed as the president of the SSCT kahit hindi ka pa nagiging full-fledged professor. Tama?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. So again, no, I think CHED should also look into that. No, if indeed there is a requirement as to who is qualified and eligible to become a president of the the state college and universities. No, I guess we should look into this. Now, ito naman, I have a copy of ano to? Evaluation sheets, no? If you recall earlier, I showed you names of students. Tama, no? And these students, Madam Chair, were actually the ones who purportedly evaluated him. Diba? And the reason why I asked earlier kung kailan siya naging professor, sinabi niya kasi ngayon 2017, diba? Sabi niya 2017 or 2018. So, since he is already the president of Surigao State College of Technology in 2017, 2016, no, and in 2017, I would assume that the students, the faculty of the SSCT would have been the one that evaluated him. Isn't that correct, Dr. Gamboa?
There was a provision on the NBC 461 for that effect, Honorable Chair. I could not spell out what is the content, but there was on the NBC 461 guidelines that you should be evaluated on the last teaching activity that you have undertaken.
Kong, may I
Yeah.
ask? Yeah. What provision, can you state the entire provision, that even just in one sentence?
It is in the NBC 461 guidelines, especially the IRR of that one, that a faculty, if is that already serving as a faculty, the last evaluation will be used for that reclassification, Honorable Chair.
Okay, so you're already a faculty of,
So that's why I was evaluated by students of SCTU, because that is my last teaching job.
but you are, I got confused. You are already for
I was
Surigao.
already appointed as president.
Yeah.
Actually, that was being undertaken for purposes of only for reclassification, but not having an appointment.
I guess with my colleagues here and on the colleagues from the hybrid, we will definitely call for the next hearing the commissioner, is it right, to come on July 1, and with the board of the Surigao, if somebody could represent them, because it's so hard to, we are getting confused with all of your statements. We fully understand that you have internal rules, but with the papers that we've been seeing and being read, I think there's really a problem. But we really have to clarify things first. So to be fair with you, even though we've been seeing all of these documents already, we will still invite and make them appear, even the evaluators and the enumerators that sign the survey sheet for your end, for the evaluation. COMSEC, may I direct the COMSEC to invite all of those people who have signed the fictitious, for me, it's a fictitious instrument.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, wala pa tayo doon sa alleged malversation of the funds of the school. We're still discussing the dishonesty, the grave misconduct, and the falsification committed by this president. Now, sinabi niya kanina na he doesn't remember what year was he, did he become a full-fledged professor, which to my mind, Madam Chair, Your Honors, is very impossible. Because imposibleng hindi mo matanda. Now, to add more salt in the wound, so to speak, no? I have here a copy of the evaluation sheets signed by several students. 26 students po ito. And it appears that in this evaluation form, these students were students of Cebu Technological University, CTU. When we check, Madam Chair, we asked whether these students were enrolled in the CTU. It came out, Madam Chair, that these students with these names and their signatures appearing in this evaluation form were not students of Cebu Technological University, but were all students of Surigao State College of Technology. And this evaluation form presumably was done in the year 2017 na hindi niya matandaan na siya ang naging presidente, kung kailan siya naging full-fledged professor. So obviously, Madam Chair, there was some sort of a falsification dito. Kasi itong mga names na ito nag-evaluate sa kanya are not students of CTU. Sabi niya kung saan siyang last nag-work, yun ang mag-evaluate sa kanya. He made it appear, Madam Chair, that these students that evaluated him were students of CTU. But in fact, these students, when we checked, were students of the Surigao State College of Technology. So again, there was falsification and dishonesty and grave misconduct committed by this president, Madam Chair. So,
may I request Congressman Ace to submit to the committee all of the documents that he found out so we could review thoroughly with our legal team?
Yes, Madam Chair, I will provide the committee secretariat a copy of all these annexes that this office or this representation has compiled. So obviously, ito nga hong puro ito mga tiga Surigao eh. So hindi nagtataka ako dito kung
Madam Chair, can I be recognized?
obvious na panlilin lang ito, Madam Chair. Sige.
We are now, thank you, Congressman Ace. Would like to recognize Dr. Gamboa.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Tinitingnan ko yung file copy namin with regards to the students. Ito yung nakalagay dito. Cabigas, then this is only a Xerox copy. Then you have Cisna. These are on the students who evaluated me in my position. That's why when that names are being presented, I could not assure that I was able to recognize that name because it turned out that it is a different copy in my position, the original one, which evaluated me. Who are the students coming from Surigao, from Cebu Technological University? You have here Gulyesero, Quezon. That's why I could not, Madam Chair. But a certified Xerox copy of these documents, I will be submitting this one on your position on that note, Honorable Chair.
Okay. In line with that, you're right. I will be asking for a certified true copy of all of those. And we will be requesting them, the one who evaluated you, to be on Zoom if it's possible. Just wanted to check it out if they're really the ones who evaluated you. Kong Ace, anything?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Now, if I can move forward, Madam Chair.
Yes, you may all continue. You may continue.
Madam Chair, before we
Yes,
go
Kong
to the
Ako.
Honorable Barbers, we'll move to another issue. Let me be clarified, Dr. Gamboa. Sinasabi niyo ba dito sa hearing na ito na yung documents na ipinakita ni Honorable Barbers ay hindi niyo alam? Iba dun sa mga documents na isasubmit po ninyo?
Yung documents na sinasubmit ko, yung at saka yung pinakita dito, iba po, Honorable Chair.
Magkaiba.
Yeah. When it comes to students.
So, you are denying yung mga documents na pinapakita ni Honorable Barbers.
Yes, Honorable Chair, because nandito pala yung mga Xerox copy na nadala pala ng board sec. So I try to check on the names, and they are not within the names that is being shown in the machine copy of the name of students, Honorable Chair.
Are you trying to tell this committee na minagic ni Ace Barbers, Honorable Ace Barbers, yung mga dokumento na ito?
I will never say that, Honorable
Ay,
Chair.
that's what you are meaning.
No, I'm just trying to say that I have a different documents, Honorable Chair.
No. I think you were required to submit these documents by the Honorable Chairwoman. So
Yeah, yes,
kindly
Honorable
submit
Chair.
this so that we also can look at it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressman Acop. Make sure it's a certified and so we could review.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Ace.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, kanina sinabi niya na hindi niya nakikita yung nag-evaluate sa kanya eh. In fact, he has not seen the forms and the results of the evaluation of the students, no? But now he's saying he has a different set of documents. Again, Madam Chair, just to emphasize that point, I have here a official list of enrollees on school year, first semester 2017-2018. Sabi niya, ganung time daw siyang presidente ng SSCT. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Bachelor of kung ano-anong course ito. Itong mga names na ito yung nag-evaluate na nag-submit at pumirma dito sa form na ito, Madam Chair. So I will provide a copy to the committee secretary, Madam Chair. So now moving on.
Kong Ace, is it okay with you if we randomly pick who will be on that list,
Yes,
so we
yes,
could
but-
get more of the history of those documents?
Yes, for example, according to him, he has a copy, the board secretary has a copy of the names of the students. Is that correct?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So, okay, we will do that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Madam
Just
Chair.
Yes, Kong Acop?
now, Dr. Gamboa, in hiring new teachers in the university, did you take into account seniority of those who are already seniors in the SNSU ahead of the newly hired teachers before you gave them those positions?
First of all, Honorable Chair, in hiring faculty position, we have the Promotion and Selection Board. And is with regards to the seniority, first of all, what is being considered is the eligibility requirements to handle tertiary education, Honorable Chair.
Oh. So alam mo yung provisions ng NBC 461-7A eh. Ngayon, in 2020, and you are informed of this, no? In the DBM Caraga Regional Director sent an observation of irregularity, no? In the 2020 SSCT submission, in that is contained insertions of names which are not supposed to be there. What did you do? Did you correct the issue? Did you rectify this?
Is it the report of I think you are talking, Honorable Chair, on the 34 hired faculty that were included in the evaluation. First of all, under NBC 461, if assessment of faculty is voluntary, it's up to the faculty concerned whether they would like to be evaluated or not. And this faculty voluntarily include themselves for the reclassification. Then the reclassification was then being approved by CHED. Then approved by
excuse me, Dr. Gamboa, wala pa tayo dun sa reclassification. Doon pa lang tayo sa sabi ng DBM Caraga Regional Director, yung findings nila ay merong kang in-insert na wala doon sa original list. In other words, if there are names of professors, names of teachers, may siningit ka doon. And you were asked by the regional director to correct this. Ang question ko, did you correct this?
Yeah, Honorable Chair. First of all, there were no insertion. I have to clarify that one.
So you're saying that the DBM regional director is lying?
There were no insertion as to the list because the list is not coming from us.
No. Sa inyo galing yung list eh. 'Di ba? Kayo yung nag-a-accept eh. Kayo yung ano eh, kayo yung kunyari, 'di ba? Kayo nag-a-accept ng applicants for teachers, professors, yung mga item na yun.
Honorable Chair, I think you were talking here different issues, Honorable Chair.
Because you're not answering my question.
Yes, Honorable Chair,
My
because
question is, there are insertions of names that were identified and discovered by the DBM regional director. And then he asked you to correct them.
to
The
be,
question is, did you correct it?
I would like to assert first that there were no, before I will answer the second question, first of all, I would like to assert that there were no insertion. The list that were submitted by SNSU to DBM were being approved by the board. Not me. It is approved by the board. And later on, it was being recalled because there were other faculty that were not included because they are new to the service. So that's why it was being recalled by CHED and change the list, because I would like to clarify on this committee that it is not the SNSU who make the list. It is the CHED and approved by the board before it will be endorsed to DVM.
No, there was a letter sent by a professor, no, addressed to the human resource officer designate of SNSU. But that time it was still SSCT, no. At doon sa letter na yon, sinasabi niya, please consider the many queries raised regarding the authenticity of the said documents upon the pronouncement of DBM Regional Director on inclusion of the names of some faculty who were just appointed only in 2018 and 2019. In our short conference at the said regional office last January 8, 2020. Accordingly, this greatly alarmed and perplexed me, and I know of my rights and responsibility that were denied prior to releasing the same to other agencies by your office. Now, it was answered by the Rosemary Arcaya, no, the HRMO designate. Sinabi niya dito, gina-justify niya na meron Data Privacy Act of 2012. And apparently, she said that the Data Privacy Act of 2012 prohibits the processing of sensitive personal information. It was just a query as to why there were names that were inserted in the list of the applicants for a teaching position. Data privacy. Is Arcaya here?
No, Honorable Chair.
Oh, so obviously there was Madam Chair, sabi niya meron daw sensitive personal information dito. DBM Regional Director na nga yung nagtatanong eh. Sinabi nga nung DBM Regional Director, i-correct nyo yan kasi hindi pwede yan. That is violative of the rules and regulations. So, hindi niya kinorek. And in spite of the several queries made on that particular issue, Madam Chair, sinagot lang yung nag-i-inquire na teka muna, meron tayong Data Privacy Act. It was a clear and obvious what they call this attempt to deviate from the real issue. Diba? So again, I will submit this, Madam Chair, to the committee secretary, specifically the issue on that rule that was violated. So hindi pa rin nasasagot, Madam Chair, yung sinanong ko nga kanina, what in your arrogance can you tell this committee na meron kang legal na basihan para hindi ka mag-submit ng DTR? Wala, hindi pa niya nasasagot eh. Sabi niya, hindi lang daw siya nag-submit. Dahil sabi niya, no, yung mga dating presidente, ginawa daw yun. Kaya ginagawa niya. That only proves, ladies and gentlemen, this person's incompetence. Presidente ho ito. Presidente ito ng universidad eh. First university to na state university sa aming probinsya. Kaya napakahalaga ho sa amin yung value ng education na matuturo ng leadership na leadership niya, no? Or whoever sits there as president. Now, moving on, Madam Chair.
Yeah, may I say something? Again, I'd like to ask, Ched, usually po kasi ang ating mga guro ay may continuing education and they are being guided by, they are binded and guided, should be guided, all of these presidents of the state universities. Do you have any reconsideration for them to be called for a meeting by the chairman or anybody from Ched for them to be guided? Kasi kung sasabihin nila laging, ginaya ko lang, sinundan ko lang, paano kung mali? Paano kung hindi naman tama? Ibig bang sabihin na ang universidad o state university ay patuloy na gagawa ng isang kamalian na hindi naman dapat? Ang tanong ko po para po sa Ched, meron ba kayong programa na ganito para mapatawag lahat ng presidente? Kasi sa amin po, sa lalawigan ng Bulacan, no, kami po ay merong inay na something, no? Ang isang state university ay nalagyan ng mga, di ko masabi, siguro offline tayo, mga bata na tinuturuan maging progresibo. Yung ba ay hindi ba alam ng isang presidente yon? Dapat yun alam din ng isang presidente. Dahil ganyan din po ang sagot sa akin, hindi daw nila alam na may ganun. So, in a sense, it's not an excuse to lead a university. So may tanong po, meron po ba kayong ganitong mga programa?
Good afternoon po ulit, Madam Chair. Actually, para mailagay po natin sa proper context po at saka perspective po itong jurisdictional authority ng CHED over the state universities and colleges, even local universities and colleges. Yung pong mga empleyado po ng SUCS and LUCS is not actually under the authority of CHED. Ito po ay sa civil service, being employees of the government. So whether from the lowly rank employees up to the president. Then siguro po yung supervision po ng CHED dito po is program based kasi po eh. So the curriculum, setting the minimum set o standards of curriculum na dapat sundin po ng mga SUCS and LUCS. Pero as regards po sa disciplinary authority, sa civil service po ito eh, being public officials and employees of the government po. Siguro po ang pwede lang maging supervision po ng CHED dito dahil inatasan po ng ating batas na ang chairman po ng CHED ay uupo bilang chair din po ng mga SUCS and LUCS. Siguro naging part na po kasi yung chairman ng CHED na part po siya ng governing board of each SUCS and LUCS. Siguro po dapat dun po sa governing board, yung internal rules po nila dapat yun po ang paigtingin nila dito. With the guidance na lang po siguro nung chair ng CHED being as he sits as the chair of the SUCS and LUCS din po.
Madam Board Secretary, I'm reminding you, you're under oath.
Yes po, Your
Yes,
Honor.
kasi kung mali ka, I will move to cite you in contempt.
Okay, yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Yes. Kasi kanina ka pa bulong ng bulong dyan sa presidente mo eh. So nakikita ko na tinuturuan mo siya. Alam mo, Iha, galing ako sa pulis eh. At investigador pa, nakikita ko eh. Di po ba? So, totoo na may order ang board na bigyan ng mga baguhan na teacher na pwesto. Yes.
Can I explain, Your Honor?
I beg your pardon?
Can I explain further, Your Honor?
No, the question, Dr. Rowena, is just yes or no. So, Just answer. Or do you need an explanation, Kong Akop?
Kasi maliwanag po naman yung tanong ko eh. Inamin nyo na may order yung board para bigyan sila ng pwesto. Di po ba? Yung pag-implement ng utos ng board will pass through you as the board secretary. Ikaw nga ang gagawa ng board resolution eh. That is your job. Di po ba?
Yes po.
So, tinatanong kita, meron po ba kayong ginawang board resolution implementing such order of the board? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes, Your Honor, upon
Yes.
evaluation.
Yes. Please provide a copy of that board resolution that you made implementing the order of the board to grant these positions to the newcomers. Tama po? It should be
Yes, Your Honor.
3 days before the hearing para mabasa naman namin.
Yes po, Your Honor.
There was a meeting with the DBM regional director. And so the only way to do that is that it should be recalled by CHED, yung document. So what happened, it was recalled by the regional director, by the regional office, then change yun doon, yung mga names. Pagkatapos, dinala ulit doon sa board. Pagkatapos, approved by the board, then pinadala sa DBM. So I think there were, if I am not mistaken, there were around 30 to 34 names that were delisted because they are newly hired who voluntarily submit themselves for reclassification. Honorable Chair.
Okay, may we ask for a copy of that also? Again, I repeat, it should be a certified true copy.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Because of the experience that we have seen a while ago, it has to be certified.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Kong Ace?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Kanina, tinanong ko po kanina, Madam Chair, na kung meron bang aksyon na ginawa. No? He did not answer, reply to my question. But now, when you ask him, he said that it has already been corrected. Palagi ko, mas gusto yata niya, mas maganda nagtatanong, Madam Chair. Kaya ganyan eh. But moving on, Madam Chair, bukod dun sa observation na merong insertions, no, that this was an obvious manifestation of arrogance. Kasi nagsingit kayo, alam nyo naman, familiar kayo dun sa NBC 461-7A. Ba't kayo magsisingit, di ba? Now, ang rason niya, ang dahilan niya palagi, it is the board. It is the board. Aren't you part of the board?
May given given quantity
That is a flimsy excuse, Madam Chair. Lagi niya sinasabi, he's a part of the board. In fact, he's the president of the university. But again, sa tanong ko lang.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. But first of all action of the president follows the board action. Now, yung pinag-hire na higher than instructor 1 is based on the evaluation under NBC guidelines. So that's why, kasi may clearance na nga noon na you could hire because ang hirap hanapin po ng mga faculty during that time. Now, that is before the former Commissioner Lebre. Pagkatapos noon, there was already an order that to stop that kind of kuan and go back to instructor 1. So yun ang nangyayari ngayon.
Oh,
So that was before. So there was a clearance coming from the board to hire faculty to that effect based on the evaluation. Then after that one, the list or the qualified applicants is being submitted to the board for evaluation and approval. If it is approved, then the president implement the decision of the board.
Ang haba ng sinagot dito, Madam Chair. Ang tanong ko lang bakit mo pinayagan na maging assistant professor yung entry level wherein you know very well that the NBC 461-7A prohibits that from kasi ang entry level ay instructor 1. Di ba? So again, sasabihin mo board yan. So kayo nag-recommend and yet sinabihan ka ni Commissioner, who's that Commissioner?
I think that is the time of COM 11. COM 11.
Com
11.
Com Alibin. So was there a memorandum to that effect? Was there a memo to you to correct it?
No, there were none. But during the board meeting in Cebu with Commissioner Libre, he gave the board a verbal instruction that that was on after that one.
So
So
are
we
you
give it.
telling us, Madam Chair, that the regulation as provided in NBC 461-8 can be changed just like that by a commissioner? And who's this commissioner again? Your good friend? What's his name? Dr. Gamboa?
During the clearance that was
Who gave
given
you the verbal instruction?
to stop this one, to stop.
Yes.
That was some Comlebre give us a verbal instruction na to stop already the using NBC 461 for new hired, but to stick to instructor one as entry requirements, regardless of what will be the qualification of the applicant. I think it is already as an order, Honorable Chair.
So the order was verbal, therefore it is final. There's
Yes,
no need for a document.
Yeah, because that is during the board meeting and it was in the being noted by the board, so I have to follow it.
Well, granting for the sake of argument, Madam Chair, that is correct, but we will get to that later on. No? Obviously, talagang merong nakikitang ano rito eh. Obvious na po, Madam Chair, yung kanyang incompetence. Because being a president, you cannot just take hook, line, and sinker all the verbal instructions. Are you telling us that the verbal instruction can change the rules and regulations of CHED? And in this case, can change the provisions of NBC 461-7A? Eh man, para tayong naglolokohan dito, Madam Chair.
Kong, I was just wondering what is really CHED doing right now? So I'm confused and bigat. So na-shock po kami kasi ulitin ko, di lang po kayo ang ganitong may problema. Kaya po natin to ini-hear para makorek lahat ng mga pagkakamali. At hindi po kami natutuwa. Hindi po kami natutuwa pagka ganitong may problema tayo. Kong?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just would like to express my, kahit pala hindi natutuwa si Madam Chair, maganda pa rin. Now, Madam Chair, moving forward, ito naman po ay usapin tungkol sa overtime pay, Madam Chair. Gusto kong tanungin itong si Dr. Gamboa. Dr. Gamboa, are you aware of the DBM's Manual of Classification and Compensation Scheme for faculty positions in all SUCs?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Do you know the various formula in computing for overtime work as prescribed in the manual for undergraduate and graduate programs?
I cannot memorize the formula, Honorable Chair.
Oh, hindi mo.
I was familiar, but I could not memorize the formula.
So you don't have an idea on how to compute the overtime pay? that
I
what
would
you're
like
saying?
to refer it to the accounting, the computation, Honorable Chair.
Madam Chair, Your Honors, DBM Manual of Classification and Compensation Scheme po ito. And being the President, he should be aware of this. Kasi marami hong mga professors, marami pong mga teachers na nag-overtime. Sometimes it's required. Sometimes there is really a need to allow the overtime of these professors. Kasi nga, gusto nating maturuan yung ating mga estudyante. And now he's saying, Madam Chair, that he doesn't know. Diba? He doesn't know. Again, he's proving his incompetence in this committee hearing, Madam Chair. So, medyo malaking question. Ito naman po ay dun sa thesis defense panels. Ayun. Maganda ito kasi kapag ikaw ay membro ng panel sa thesis defense, hindi po ba meron kang compensation, di ba? Yun naman ang rules natin dito eh. Now, Dr. Gamboa, what is your position and role in all masteral and doctoral thesis defenses? Do you sit in the panel, in all panels? You are under oath, Mr. Gamboa. So please reply correctly
Yes,
and
yes, Honorable Chair.
rightfully. So you are.
Yes, yes, I said
Okay. So do you sit in all panels as the chairperson?
not necessarily, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Do you get paid for that? And how much do you get paid for sitting as the member of the panel?
I think it is only one to something like that one.
Ano, no?
1,001 or 1,002, something like that.
So, ano yan? Paano? Educate us. Is it per hour?
Uh,
Is it per defense? Is it per, ano? Ano ba? Ano bang sitwasyon dyan?
During the final defense po.
The final defense. So, it's only 1 day.
Yeah, yeah.
And this 1 day, you're paid by the hour or by the
No,
day?
no, that is during panel.
So, you're paid by the day.
No, it's not. But that is
Per thesis.
yes.
Okay, per thesis. Okay, sige. So, almost all thesis defense, Madam Chair, Your Honors, they occur almost simultaneously. Diba? Kasi pag graduate na, itong course na to, itong course na to, kanya-kanya, halos sabay-sabay yan eh. So, especially kapag masteral at saka doctoral level sa Madam Chair, no? Apart from your job as the President, how can you attend all these defenses and study all the theses of all hundreds of students every semester so that you can intelligently discuss them and evaluate and assess them too?
Most oftenly, the defense is being done during Saturday and Sunday and after office hour, Honorable Chair.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're
Yes,
sure?
Yes.
O sige, I will give you that benefit of the doubt, Madam Chair. Kasi parang sinirox niya yung sarili niya, no? Sa lahat ng defense panels na almost simultaneously happens on a Saturday, Saturday ba?
Saturday, Sunday, and after office hour.
O Saturday and Sunday, halos in all of this defense, Madam Chair, nandoon si Mr. President. Member siya ng panel. Halos magkakasabay-sabay yun ha. And I will show you later, Madam Chair, kung why am I saying this, no? Kasi nga, there is a compensation doon sa pagiging member niya ng panel. Now, when you are not able to attend some of these defense, thesis defense, Mr. President, do you still collect professional fees?
If I am not the one sitting,
Yeah.
no, Your Honorable Chair.
Again, I'd like to recognize Dr. George to answer the honorable.
Yes.
No, Gregorio pala, hindi pala Dr. George. Kaya pala you're looking, nagtatanong. Okay, I'm just flexing things. Okay,
Yes.
please answer.
If I am sitting, yes, but if not, I do not collect.
So, if you are not able to attend, so why do you put yourself in that position if you cannot diligently attend and study and discuss the defense of the students? Kasi it seems that you are present in all, Madam Chair, no? What is the purpose? The only lucrative reason I see, Madam Chair, is the professional fee of 1,500 pesos each. Is that correct, Dr. Gamboa? Na for every defense thesis, meron kang 1,500.
Hindi ata magkaparehos yun, Honorable Chair.
Anong hindi magkaparehas? Anong hindi parehas?
Minsan, I think there is 1,001, 1,002, or 1,005, something like that. But I could not ascertain kung fix
so,
ba yun.
Pero there is really a compensation,
Yes,
di ba?
Honorable Chair.
Kasi either 1,002 yan, 1,500 yan. Yan ka, huwag ka magsisinungaling at nagagalit ang ating ano. So, can we show the table, please? The compensation he has collected as the member of the defense panel. Marunong to. Magaling ito. Oo. Oo.
Yes, yes.
Babayad eh.
Mas parang
Yun. Galit na. Okay. Question. Sino pong nagbabayad ng 1.5 per defense panelist?
I think
Sa 1,500, pinagkakakitaan nyo pa ang isang mahirap. Ay, hindi tayo magkakasundo dyan, Mr. President.
yeah, I agree with you, ma'am. But Madam Chair, it was there was a committee of on that one in the graduate school. And in the first place, the graduate school is a special program of the university. At saka wala itong subsidy when it comes to personal services coming from the government. It is only the operating expenses, but not on the PS of the person of the people teaching in the graduate school.
Teka muna po, I beg to disagree. You're telling us na yung sa graduate school sa hindi gumagamit ng pasilidad ng gobyerno?
What I mean, Honorable Chair, is that under the line item under GAA, there were no personal services intended for the graduate school. It is only the MOOE that is stipulated.
But still, you're still using the facility of
Yes,
the
sir.
government
Yes.
school.
Yes.
Using electricity, you're using the chairs and tables, you're using everything. So, I mean, I beg to disagree with that, sir.
Okay.
Mr. President, 1,500, kahit ano pang sabihin niyo sa probinsya, malaking bagay po yun. And that, for me, it's not acceptable.
Madam
To my
Chair,
colleagues?
Madam Chair. Dr. Gambawa, sabi nyo kanina, walang item sa budget for personal services for graduate school. Saan nyo kinukuha yung pambayad sa mga professors ninyo?
Tuition fee po nila po, Honorable Chair.
Tuition fee
Yeah, ng
One.
graduate school.
ng graduate school.
Yes.
So, magkano po ang tuition fee ng isang estudyante ng graduate school? Especially masteral and doctoral.
I think that is between 400 per unit, 600 per unit, Honorable Chair.
600 per unit.
Yes.
And your professors are happy with that.
That is also the very reason that we brought this issue to the board, because the income derived.
Tinatanong ko po yun dahil bakit pa kayo nagtayo ng graduate school kung wala naman palang PS, walang capital outlay? MOE ninyo galing sa estudyante.
What is in the line item is only the MOE.
O, meron kayong MOE for graduate study.
For graduate
study.
Uh,
Sa budget?
sa budget for graduate
O
study.
para lang sa eskwelahan?
Hindi po, for graduate study po, meron talagang MOE for graduate study, higher education, graduate study po, sir.
Okay. Maghaharap naman tayo sa budget sa Oktubre, September, October. Pagdating ng SUC, makikita ko talaga kung may line item
At
for graduate studies ng MOE.
yeah, and we continue to propose in the DBM to have a PS item, a line item for the graduate school, but until this time, there were no appropriation that were being granted to us.
And aside from the tuition fee, pinagbabayad nyo pa sila ng 11,000 para lahat po sa advisor, panelist, yung mag-e-edit ng kanyang thesis.
Well, I could not see how much this will cost.
Di ba? Pinagbabayad nyo
Yeah, kasi hindi yun per panel, hindi yun magkaparehas yung payment. I think yun normal.
What is the average?
Maybe 1,200.
11.
1,001.
Hindi nga, ilan ang panelist no?
Ang panelist, maybe the maximum of 5, Honorable Chair.
Kasi total yan
Yeah.
Oh. Di ba? Ang total ninyo nag-average ng 11,000 per student. Nandito sa records tinignan ko. Oh, including the thesis advisor, and the editor. Tama? Dapat alam niyo yun. Panelist kayo eh. Di po ba?
Yeah, Honorable Chair.
Yes. And sa isang lugar na Surigao del Norte, ano po yung class na probinsya po ninyo?
Class 3, class sa city sa Surigao.
Hindi naman siguro yung estudyante niyo. Kaya nandun po sila, hindi makapunta dito sa Maynila o hindi po makapunta sa Cebu, di po ba? Tama. Kaya nagtitiyaga sila ron. Alam ko rin po yan dahil doon na aking lugar sa Rizal, meron din kaming State University. At yung mga mahihirap at nakakatira sa Laylayan, doon po sila State University namin sa province of Rizal. Di po ba? Siguro, yung sitwasyon na yun, ganun din po doon sa inyo. Tama? O baka mas malala pa? Kasi, Dok, nadistino ako sa Agusan del Norte. Kapitbahay ko lang yung Surigao del Norte. Nadistino po ako ron. Kaya alam ko. At tama si Chairman Robes na she will not agree with you. Lalo yung pinahirapan yung estudyante. Imbis na umangat siya sa madaling paraan, pinahihirapan po ninyo. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Kong Akop. Kong Ace.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Parang ano talaga obvious na obvious dito, Madam Chair, na may pagtatakip, may pagtatago. Doon lang sa punto na kung saan they require the students to pay them for being panelists in their thesis defense is already, sabi mo nga, hindi katanggap-tanggap at napaka-unreasonable. I will move forward to another topic. Kasi, again, no, we were able to discover that there was a grave misconduct committed by this president in all the issues that we discussed earlier. Now, dito naman, I was told, Madam Chair, and I'd like to ask the President if this is true. Did you have a 3-day seminar workshop entitled Internationalization on October 1 to 3, 2019?
I have to ask the BP for supposedly BP admin, BP ACAD to that effect, Honorable Chair. Because
Sige, before the BP admin replies.
the BP ACAD supposedly because sila yung nagpaplano lahat.
Okay, before the VP admin replies, I was informed also that the accountant is here. You're the accountant, di ba? May I know your name, please?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Gay Rose Seguera po.
Where are you from, Gay Rose?
Surigao City po.
Surigao City. Yan, taga Surigao. And what about this gentleman beside you?
I am Philip Picasso from Surigao City, sir.
Uy, Surigao nun gapon. Good. At least naintindihan natin, no, na merong ano. And I don't know if you agree with our initial findings that there was really aside from falsification, there was a grave misconduct committed by this president of yours. Now, doon sa accounting, sinabi kanina ni Mr. President, hindi raw siya kumukubra. Is that correct?
There are some, as I said earlier, Honorable Chair.
So, hindi ka kumukubra ng iyong fee doon sa panel defense?
Not totally, Honorable Chair.
Oh, ngayon naman,
as I said
totally.
kanina, there are some.
Kanina, ang yabang-yabang mo magsabi na, you know, I do not collect. Now, may we ask the accountant, no, to submit, or have they submitted to this committee the disbursements of funds in relation to the what do you call this, thesis defense? Have you submitted that?
Sir, yung sa thesis defense po, hindi po dumadaan sa accounting.
Okay.
Hindi po kasi pumapasok sa school yung money. Direct po sa kanila.
Direct sa?
Ang collection po, parang Sa Dean of
Patay
Graduate
tayo dyan.
School lang, hindi po pumapasok sa school.
Oy, sige. Ito
Yes, sir.
let me remind you, you are under oath
Yes, sir. Yes,
Alam
sir.
mo,
Yung sa
bata ka pa
thesis po.
naman, baka hindi ka rin makaretire kagaya niya. The president of this university, number one, is incompetent. Number two, has no regard for rules. Therefore, acting with this conduct is prejudicial to the government. And third, no, he seems to have this hubris to falsify things and probably feels that he can get away with this. Now that we are slowly scrutinizing and discovering one by one all these issues, Madam Chair, this person has no other recourse. I'm sure he's the president. He has passed several evaluation with flying colors. He knows what's next and what's in store for him. Again, I hope in the next hearing of the committee, I will still be given enough time, Madam Chair, to present my case against the leadership, specifically the president of this university. Thank you.